Howdy howdy, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be reviewing the Bambu filaments. I've been using Bambu as a major choice when it comes to single color prints, and I'm going to go ahead and just give my input, print some tests, and show how the filament does. I'm going to select a color from the standard PLA, from the PLA Basic. I'm going to select a color from the PLA Matte, and I'm going to select a color from the PLA Silk. Now I have printed in all these colors, so I will give general feedback between them all, but I am going to go ahead and just stick with one of the colors. For now, I'm going ahead and just calibrating my printers just to make sure that they're good, and then I'm going to dry the filament and proceed with the tests. I'll let you know how it goes. Alright, for the filament that we're going to choose, for the matte, we're going to go with this mint blue from Bambu. I'm going ahead and printing a Benchy, just that's a baseline for it. I'm going to probably do about 3 prints total. We're going to go with a Benchy, some kind of articulated thing, and I'm unsure for the third one. For the normal filament, I went with the Bambu Orange. And we've already got the Benchy that has finished for that one. And for the Silk PLA, I'm going with the Silk, I think it's the rose color is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and have that one run. I started this one last, so that's why it's not as far along. Once they're all done, I'll show them off and go into detail for them. Alright, we've got all 3 Benchies done. The first is the orange PLA Basic Bambu filament. Look at the Benchy. Looking on the plate, I don't see any issues. Everything seems to have printed fine. Pops off the plate very easy. So far it's pretty good. I mean, it's what I'd expect out of a basic filament. Okay, the next one is we've got the rose pink shiny filament, silk filament. So this one, looking at it, everything is looking good as well. Pops right off, no problems. That Benchy is good as well. And the third, the mint blue PLA, we've got everything is looking fine here. Took a little bit more to get it off. See a small, see if I can see a small line right there, but otherwise everything looks great. So for a Benchy, which is kind of what I'd expect, everything looks great. I did calibrate these printers beforehand, so and make sure the settings were right, so everything looks good. So that's kind of the baseline that I was expecting. The next print that I'm going to do, I'm just going to do a small articulated figure, because that's a lot of the stuff that I print, and it also will kind of show mobility and whatnot. Alright, my second print finished for the Bambu test. This time I went with a multicolored articulating object. The one I chose was actually the by Layers in Green. She calls it Luna. Actually, I think it's Yuna. It's one of those two. It's kind of like a fox articulating creature. I did it because I already had one that was printed all in Bambu. This one was printed in the Bambu orange, white, and black. It's a pretty straightforward print. But I want to do it just to showcase, you know, the articulating nature and the quality. So this one I had printed earlier, didn't require any prep work. As you can see, it looks great. No strings, really no cleanup needed at all, except for the ears, which I'll just take my butane torch to. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So that's for the plain one. This one right here, I printed in the matte filament. Ignore the color choices because I only had a few matte options. This was the best I could get it to look. I actually don't think it looks too bad. The color options that I chose were the mint blue matte filament, the navy or dark blue, I think it's the navy blue, I forget, for Bambu. I'll get the exact one and put it right up here, and the Sakura pink, all from Bambu matte filament. So looking at it first, the only problem that I see is it looks like my infinity cube, which this has happened with a few different prints altogether, which I use infinity cubes for just the purge objects, and I sell them at craft fairs for a couple bucks as well. But looks like, as you can see right here, that part had disconnected. I do not know if that's a relation to the actual print or if it's actually just the model, which can occur sometimes. But looking at the Fox, everything is looking good. As far as removing it, normally I would crack it off, but I was able to remove it fairly simple. It does cling good to the super track plate. Underside looks clean, and the articulation is pretty good. And for the last one, this was the silk filament. This one looks a hot mess, to be honest, but I only had 3 colors for the silk Bambu. And we have the rose gold, which I don't quite think it looks like rose gold, but that's what Bambu calls it. The gold and the rose pink. These 2 colors I like a lot. This one is kind of so-so. So let's take a look. Now, a note, I did have to use a textured plate because the super track is not compatible with the silk PLA. Now, the first thing I'll say is, so it might just be the model. This infinity cube did have an issue as well. Not most of them don't tend to have these issues, but this one tended to, or it seemed to. Looking at it, I do see a few more strings compared to the matte, but a butane torch should take care of that. It did take about 15% longer compared to the other prints, which that seems to be par for the course with silk, and it does remove pretty simple right off the plate, which that's because it's not the super track, which holds it nice and good. The underside, oh, looks like we do have a small problem right here. I did print 2 of them though, so let's see if that was an issue on both of them. Nope, this one is looking good. So not sure what happened here, but we do have a little bit of a scarring issue, so if I was to sell this, I would have to discount it, but more than likely I probably couldn't give it to one of my girls. That's what I do for a lot of the reject items. Articulation looks good. It's definitely lighter, I can feel in the weight. So yeah, let me pull the rest of these off, and then I'll kind of showcase a few things of the few prints. All right, so first we're going to look at the basic PLA. So once again, everything is looking clean. As far as mobility, everything is good mobility wise. Got full durability. I'm able to apply a fair amount of force. I probably should have something that would actually be able to measure it. I'm going to apply a fair amount of force, and I'm not noticing any kind of breakage or anything of that nature, so we're good. I wouldn't be opposed to breaking it just to show it, but I'd rather not if I can sell it. So yeah, the basic PLA, not having any issues when it comes to twisting, anything of that nature, so we are good, which this is what I would expect from a basic PLA. I do know that silk and matte are supposedly weaker, so I'll go ahead and do this one because I don't mind if this one breaks for that very reason. So articulation, we've got a good amount of articulation here, no issues with mobility. I do feel that it is lighter. The silk definitely feels sizably lighter compared to the standard PLA, and the mat actually feels the heaviest. But let's go ahead and see how that transfers to, let's give the same level of resistance. Okay. Well, I mean, it's holding up. I can feel slight tension pulling on it, but no breaks yet. No breaks. Let's twist and see. Nope. Now I could break it if I wanted to, but that's not the intention. I'm just applying a fair amount of force. No breakage there. So this is weaker point. Nothing there. I think the only weak point would definitely be right here, which... Oh, actually, even just trying to pull off that damaged piece, I was able to get it off. Alright, so that came off, but of course that's because it was damaged. I mean, overall, the strength is still not too bad. I was actually expecting it to break, so that's good there. Now for the matte filament. So once again, it looks great. Articulation, full mobility. No issues there. Now strength. Let's see on the strength. No issues. Oh, did feel a little bit of crack there. Yep. All right, so that one did break. Okay. So ended up snapping that one. I mean, I had to apply a fair amount of force. So from a selling standpoint for these articulated creatures, I'm not concerned about selling it in the mat because I feel like it would really require a tug of war type of situation for it to break. But yeah, so let's see for this part. Let's see for twisting it. Nope, we're good there. We're good there. All right. So yeah, the mat did break, which is kind of what I would expect if any of them would. From what I've heard, the mat is the flimsiest. I haven't personally had any of mine break on anyone that I'm aware of. Actually, no, I did have one that broke. And it was a matte one actually, but this is actually one of the smaller ones that had broken, and I had sent a replacement to them. So that's good to know. I don't know what they had done to break it in that case. So yeah, so that's definitely a small ding. Yeah, so I'm going to do one more test print just to determine a little bit more, and then I'll give overall a recap on my thoughts between the three prints and three types of film. All right, the final print for the mat finished, and I opted to go with a very basic decorative mask, although this one, it looks like it's sized for either a child or a pet, but either way it still serves the purpose. Just wanted to showcase something that had more decorative nature and such. So this is the matte one. I do see some stringing right here, but I'm gonna see how those supports come off and kind of how it looks afterwards. Okay. The other one that I went ahead and did was the silk. I did this in the gold. This one looks really beautiful. And yeah, just see a few strings, but that's simple enough. So we'll see how that turns out. As for the other one, I'm going to have to print it because my other printer was occupied, so I'll do that one after. Okay, we'll go ahead and start with the silk. Easy to remove on the textured plate. I didn't realize this was going to create a brim around all these, but I should be able to get it. Clean removal. At least the brim's coming off, no issues. That's good. All right. Oops, didn't realize it's holding above the camera. Oh, last one, just right there. All right. So quality-wise, I can make out every detail. I am not the biggest fan personally when it comes to the silk. I think it's pretty, but I feel like the shininess takes away from a lot of it. But I'll say this does look pretty good, and I could see where someone would enjoy it, especially for a mask or something of that nature. The detail is pretty good. I don't see any real evidence of scarring. Some small right there for the supports, but overall it looks pretty good. All right, let's look at the matte one. Okay, this one I'm actually just gonna, let's see, crack it off, just because it's the cool plate. There we go. Oh, a lot of the supports already came off with it. So that's even cleaner to get off the supports. Oh yeah, those supports just came right off. Now I am able to see a little bit more of the scarring just here and there. Just, it's not too bad. I mean, it's a butane torch will take care of a lot of it. But what I like about the matte is I feel like I can make out all the fine details much better. I can make out, compared to them, I'm at least anyway able to make out more around here on the matte over the shiny that we have. So I'm able to see more details there. And as far as the scarring, I mean, that's easily rectified with, like I said, a light butane torch across it, or I could even just sand it slightly. But yeah, it looks pretty good. But yeah, the detail is the biggest thing I like when it comes to the matte. However, the shiny silk might actually cover some things if you have some imperfections that you may not want. All right, and this is the basic PLA right here. Don't see any strings, so printed good. No issues with the print. Let's pop it off and it's looking good. I am able to see some scarring from where the support was. A little bit more scarring than the others, at least up here anyway. But should be able to be cleaned up. Detail wise, it's pretty good, very similar to the matte. I'd still say that the matte you can make out a little bit more. But overall it looks good. You could definitely tell that this one is the heaviest of the bunch, whereas the silk being the lightest. All right, so that's all three items. I'll go ahead and just give my overall thoughts on the filament. All right, and now for the results for the review for the 3 filament types for Bambu. I guess we'll go ahead and get started with the PLA Basic. Looking at all 3 models for the PLA Basic, everything printed clean, some small scarring, and the only issue I have ever had with the PLA Basic is on occasion if you purchase the refill rolls. Probably 2 out of the 100 rolls that I purchased have had issues with the way it was wound. But past that, it's great filament, perfect if you want multicolor, perfect if you want reliability. I'm going to give it, on a scale out of 10, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 just because of the refill issue. On to the matte filament. So looking at the matte filament, all 3 of them, they did print fine. The detail is definitely there. Obviously, with the Fox, we did have breakage when I applied some pressure to it. The big pros of this one is going to be the quality of the detail that you see. I've always felt that's the case with the matte. However, you can definitely see that the detail's there, but the quality is lacking. I applied about the same amount of force to all three, and this one I did have a break. So for that reason, I am going to give it an 8 out of 10. It's pretty good. General play, it'd be good. I mean, I had to apply some force to break it, but obviously it is lower than the others. And as for the shiny silk filament, so this one, everything printed fine, and I hate the colors that I ended up having to go with. That's all that I had. Everything printed fine. It works. No issues. The silky nature takes away a little bit from really being able to see some of the details. However, reliability, it printed fine. I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10 as well, mostly because I did have an issue with one of them where the paw had been messed up and was easily damaged, and I've noticed with the silk filament that tends to be more of the case whenever I run into it. As well as, although I didn't break it, it does feel less durable than the standard basic PLA. I mean, overall, they're still a great quality. These are the only 3 filaments that I've gotten from the silk, but the quality seems to be there. Just, I have had more issues with either adhesion or with things breaking off on the silk and the matte. So definitely the winner for the filaments is going to be the basic filament. I do highly recommend getting Bambu filament. I've been using it for a while. If you order on their website in bulk, you can even get it. I've gotten it sometimes as cheap as $12.99 for a refill. Now that is the thing, is you would have to have a refill with the spools that you would detach and put to it. However, if you once you get the spools, it's well worth it. You can even print your own spools. I know this is a different video than I normally do. If you did enjoy this, I did kind of go a little long. I've just noticed that's just how I am. And went into some details. If you have any other question about the filament, let me know. I am going to probably look at doing a different brand filament here in a bit as well. And if you enjoyed this, please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you.